Tom Clark's Main Event is a Boink Studios production. Follow us on Twitter at Boink Studios and check out our Facebook page where you can see all of our projects, past, present, and future. And now, on with the show.
This is Daddy's show. Step off.
Hey, hey, what is up? Welcome to the program, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tom Clark, and you are listening to Tom Clark's Main Event. This is episode number 58 of the podcast, and if you're joining us today for the very first time, we will bid you welcome. If you're coming back for a repeat visit, we say, hey, thanks for checking back in with us. And to all those involved, we will extend to you, as always, the customary laurel and a hearty handshake. Thanks for listening. Thanks for reading. Thanks for supporting. And hey, thanks for always being there, Doc. Episode number 58, as you can tell by the jingling of the keys and the sound of the road, this is a mobile podcast. For any of you guys out there that are listening to Tom Clark's 30-Minute Fun Show, first off, thanks much. The Fun Show has basically been done on the road every episode except for the first one. It's actually me and my kid, my 7-year-old Wesley. So if you have not checked out Tom Clark's 30-Minute Fun Show, please do so. You can download it right there where you were on iTunes when you found the main event, or on Google Play. So please do so. Your business is always appreciated. So how's everybody doing? Welcome back to the program. Glad you are with us. Please don't mind the road noise. If you're okay with it, I am too, I suppose. I've just got some stuff in my mind. I couldn't get back in the studio right now at this very moment, so I thought, hey man, why not just take a little bit of time here and go ahead and do another podcast. So that's what we're going to attempt to do right now. I can't promise you it's going to be my usual hour. This may actually be an abbreviated show. If it is, that's just kind of how it goes. But we're going to hope that no one around me thinks I'm losing my mind talking like, well, you know what though? That kind of really doesn't work anymore, does it? That idea of, oh, he's talking to himself, look at him. Because like everyone does this now, right? So things that didn't make any sense like 10 years ago now make perfect sense. When you see a guy walking around talking to himself, you can't just assume he's like a crazy homeless person. It could be as Bluetooth. Because, you know, he's got his Bluetooth because he's a douchebag. So I'm just saying. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. Anyway, where were we? Oh, yes, pro wrestling. The reason that you clicked on the show in the first place, right? Let's get down to it, shall we? This time, the main event is a bunch of SummerSlam stuff. I just kind of came up with that off the top of my head. I love the word stuff. You guys know me. You guys know that. Stuff is a usual term here of the show, and WWE is usually our primary topic. Not always our primary topic, but most of the time it is. So let's talk about SummerSlam, shall we? Coming up on Sunday, August 21st. We're not very far removed from that date. It's very fastly approaching, especially depending on when you decide to listen to this show here. It's a good card. It's a really good card. We're going to talk about the major matches going down the line, and we're going to tell you what we think, man, because that's what we do, yo. I'm an analyst, man. That's my job, man, to analyze and strategize, demoralize. I ran out of I's. That's the problem. So maybe next time I'll be a little bit more prepared with the humor. We'll see. I save the humor for the other shows. I'm just saying. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the two major championship matches, shall we? Out of all due respect to Finn and Seth, I have to still consider the WWE World Championship the primary championship of the company, because it always has been, and I'm sure it always will be. That's the main title dating back to 64, is that right? 1964, I believe. Let's talk about it. Dean Ambrose defending the WWE World Championship, or WWE Championship, or WWE World Heavyweight Championship, whatever they're deciding to call it today, against Dolph Ziggler, the show-off. So you got the Lunatic Fringe versus the show-off. I was a bit Surprised, as probably all of you guys were, when Dolph got the nod to face Dean for the title. I was also a bit surprised when the moment happened, how the crowd kind of turned on him. I didn't really see that coming. He's starting to win the crowd back over little by little. As much as they love Dean, there's a lot of people still love Dolph, man. They haven't let go of it. They're doing the smart thing, in my opinion, in the build to this feud, in that they are pursuing the notion that Dolph is, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. He's never really gotten that opportunity, and they're pursuing that hardcore with Dean. And Dean's point is, you're not as good as you think you are, kid. I think it's coming off very well. And for anyone out there that thinks that Dean's turning heel from all this, first of all, I think you're wrong. But second of all, if he is, so what? Who cares? Because Dean can basically get away with anything right now. He's the top guy. And I'm going to be honest with you. In my opinion, he's the top guy. I couldn't have always said that. I can now. He's got the championship. He's the top guy on SmackDown. I mean, I know you're talking about, what about Cena? Cena worked the main event of SmackDown Live, and it was the August 16th edition. That's right. And unless I'm mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong here, I don't think he cut one promo in the entire 2-hour show. The only time you saw him was the very end. That's not a John Cena face that runs the place type of WWE program, okay? Because on Raw, you're kind of used to seeing him at the beginning, maybe a backstage segment, and then the end of the main event, or run-in or something, or at least top of the second hour. There was nothing like that, so not to my recollection. Anyway, I think it's very telling, and we all know what the deal is. We said this long before WWE ever pitched the idea and put forth the idea, I should say, that John is indeed sidestepping, as well he should, and he knows the deal, as everyone that came before him knew the deal, with the exception of Hogan. Hogan never quite got it. The time comes for you to step aside so the company can begin to move on. And that's sort of where we're at with this, okay? And it's not a matter of, a Vern Gagne situation. It's not a matter of a Fritz Von Erich situation where the guy can never get out of the spotlight. John's a smart guy. John's a businessman. He's all business. He loves the industry and he loves everything about it. He understands. He knows how to play the game, okay? Now, I believe when his character says, if you want it, you got to take it from me. I get that. So I'm sure there's a lot of pride involved, a little bit of ego as well, and they're perfectly okay. Top guy needs some ego and some pride if he's going to be successful in this business. But, in terms of understanding that, the time comes that you have to step aside so the next generation can start coming up, that he knows that. You guys know that, right? John is well aware of that. He knew that long before any of us started writing about it, okay? He knew that very well indeed. So that's where we're at on that. But who goes over in this match? Dean goes over. That's my pick. They could stun the world and give Dolph the championship, but I like to see Dolph have a good, 8 to 12 week run. You better believe I would. And I think Dolph has earned it. And the words "he's earned it" are very hard for me to say a lot of times, because it's just sort of a catchphrase you kind of throw around about your favorites, and it may or may not apply to whoever you're talking about, like actually apply to them. It applies to Dolph, man. I don't know how it can apply to Dolph. I'm going to be honest with you. The guy has legit earned it. So if it worked out that at some point Dolph won the belt and he had it for, let's say, 3 months, I would be pretty happy with that. I would hope it would not be his only WWE title run, let's be honest. This is the beauty of the brand split, if I can get off on a little bit here. And a lot of people hated the idea of the brand split. I was split on it, no pun intended, to begin with. But 10 minutes later, I realized this is a really good idea. This is what I want to see. Because now other guys are getting opportunities. And this is not a belt they pulled out of thin air. And we'll talk about that in a minute. This is the WWE Heavyweight Championship. This is it, man. This is the belt of the entire industry. I mean, the IWGP World Championship and the TNA Championship, Ring of Honor, Lucha Underground. Dude, nothing compares to the WWE title. We all know that, right? Even the NWA World title has lost so much luster over the years since the days of the NWA/WCW. And, of course, that is said in all due respect of any of the guys fighting for it today. God bless the NWA. Without them, I don't think there would be a business today, in my opinion. or at least not the passion for it that's still there. My humble opinion there. But no title is as respected and is as big and is as important. Not even the UFC championship. I mean, I'm being dead serious here, man. Even I think it crosses over into other sports, even though they're two separate things, and we've covered that here before ad nauseum, if I might add. But no, to me, that's the belt. So no, I think it's a very big deal that Dolph's getting a shot. I'd love to see him actually win the belt and get a title run. I think that would be awesome. And I would hope that it wouldn't be the only run he would ever have. And again, the brand split is making all this possible, man. You guys know that, right? The brand split's making all this possible, where other guys are getting opportunity to shine for the main event and on the main event stage for the WWE Championship. And I think that's great stuff for Dolph and whoever else after the fact, if it's Bray or whoever. I would love to see Bray. Are you kidding me? That would be truly awesome. I would love that. All in due time, of course. All in good time, I should say. But no, I see Dean going over. If Dolph went over, I wouldn't be very upset. If Dean got it back in a month, I would be good with that too. I think there's a lot of possibilities here, and I think that WrestleMania is far enough away that you don't necessarily have to start sowing the seeds for Mania today. I think that you had to a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago even. I don't think you have to now. Why is that, Tom? Well, because they've called up NXT talent. They've got the roster, the brand split going. The rosters are split now. You're creating storylines independent of each other for a change. You don't have the same 4 guys working for the title each and every week. So I don't think that you have to start planning. I mean, I'm sure they are to some degree. I'm sure they are. But it doesn't have to be evident where you're like, oh, we can see this coming a mile away. You don't have to do that right now. I think there's a lot of options, man. I like options. I like there to be variety. I think if you're a pro wrestling fan, you got to be happy right now. And if you're not happy, you're probably just complaining because it's fun to complain. Right? Isn't it fun? Okay, shut up. So the official pick here, I'm going with Dean. Pinfall victory over Dolph. We shall see what will happen. Going to be interesting to see and to see how it all goes down. Let's go ahead and talk about the second major championship in this company, which we have to expect and have to believe it's going to become, at least from a promotion standpoint, from a hype standpoint, from the standpoint of the company putting their financial backing behind it, and promos and TV spots and main event matches and huge emphasis on the brand new WWE Universal Championship. Can I just tell you the massive coronary that some fans had when the name of this title was announced? People lost their minds, okay? It was rather funny, if I'm being honest with you. What's that mean, Universal Championship? God, dude, stop. Really? Like, calm down, man. It's a phony belt. The WWE belt's a phony belt. And I know I just extolled the virtues of it, and it's very important. It's phony in terms of this title was created by a promoter, okay? This isn't like, I don't know what to even compare it to. This was created by one guy. You see what I'm saying? This is not like Guinness Book of World Records, most shots taken. That's not it. We're officially, you are the world record holder. You see what I'm saying? This is not Mark Henry deadlifting, become the strongest man in the world, bench pressing. It's not what this is. This is a championship created by a promoter. Now, is it respected? Of course it is. I just touted all the great aspects of it, and it is. But guess what it meant in the beginning? Nothing. The WWE Championship meant nothing in the beginning. Yes, it was a phony title. I mean, if you were a fan of the NWA and you think the NWA board of directors thought the Worldwide Wrestling Federation, what? Of course, now, it's all different. It's 42 years later? 52 years later, right? So, whatever. But, dude, it meant nothing in the beginning, okay? Now, here's the beauty of the Universal Championship. It means nothing. When they create the belt, and I'm sure they already have, when you see the belt for the first time, when either Finn or Seth raises it above their head when they win it at SummerSlam, guess what happens the minute that bell rings for the match to start? The belt begins to have meaning. See how that works? You go into the championship match with the actual belt being worth as much money as it took to make it. So whether that's $5 grand, 10 grand, 15 grand, whatever it is, depending on what kind of money they plugged into the jewels, into the metal and everything. That's what the belt's worth. But guess what happens? The belt becomes worth a heck of a lot more the moment that they start competing for that belt. Does that make sense? And here's the other secret. Over the course of time, the championship begins to mean more and more and more and more. Why is that, Tom? Because the more it's defended, the more it's competed for, the more it's touted, the more it's promoted, the more it's elevated above every other singles championship on Monday Night Raw and put right next door, shoulder to shoulder to the WWE World Championship. Guess what's going to happen? It's going to start to mean even more. And who we got to thank for this? Not Vince McMahon, not Triple H, not Shane or Stephanie. We have to thank the guy that will wear the belt. This is a true instance of the guy makes the belt. As should always be the case. The belt should not make the guy should make the belt. That should be how it works. Now, you've seen in the past, for example, The Miz with the WWE Championship, all due respect to Miz, the belt kind of made the guy at that time. He hung his hat on the fact that he main evented WrestleMania and was WWE Champion. Okay? That kind of became his shtick, became who he was. So in that instance, yes, the belt made the guy. But in this instance, the guy will make the belt, and that's how it should be. So whether it's Seth or Finn, and yes, I believe it will be Finn in this instance. I believe Finn Balor is going over for the championship, just my take. I think that Finn Balor is the first ever Universal Champion would be a great thing for WWE. I think it'd be a great thing for Monday Night Raw. If he loses, don't anybody panic. It doesn't mean they're burying him. Love that word, by the way. They got you the shovel. Triple H has the shovel. He's burying him. He's shoveling the dirt on his carcass. God, stop. You people make me crazy. Not all you people. Majority of you people are good because you're listening to me. You and me are good, okay? My loyal audience. Hugs and kisses, yo. But no, man, take it easy. If Finn were to not go over, the world will not end, okay? And if it does, it's whatever. But it's going to be fine, man. He is a top guy. Let me ask you a question. Do you not believe, honestly, the aforementioned McMahon family as well as the Triple H, the game? You don't believe that at some point, not at some point, God, at every point, that the discussions were had, the conversations were made, and the statements were made out loud and to each other and on paper and in meetings and to Finn himself? Listen, you're going to be one of our guys, man. I mean, we believe you can handle it. We believe that you've got what it takes. He does. Dude, 16 years in the business. Dude, really? He's fine. He's going to be fine. He's fine right now. People talking about, his pop against Seth, You know, the crowd, the first Monday, he was there and face-to-face with Seth, and they had heat, and he kind of got booed for it until he did the back kick, and then he came out as the demon on Raw, and then Seth got the heat back on him. Dude, he's going to be fine. You have to understand something. Seth Rollins is a popular heel. Okay? And you guys know what happens when there's a popular heel, right? When there's a popular heel, the fans love that dude. And when the fans love a popular heel, it's hard to get over on him. Remember Triple H is world champion with Evolution versus Goldberg? Say what you will about Bill. Say what you will about his motivation for being in the business in the first place. How he grew up a fan but didn't actually love the business. He wasn't a lifer like Austin and Hunter and Shawn and Brett. I get all that stuff. But that he was expected to go straight into a program, number one with The Rock, and number two with Triple H. Now, who else do you put Goldberg against when he gets there? Who else do you think he would have wanted to work with except the top guys? He was in a no-win situation. That's kind of a lot like what's happening with Seth right now. Whoever you put against Seth, unless it's Dean, really. I mean, be straight about it. Unless it's Dean or Brock, it's going to be hard to get over on Seth. Because he's that popular. Triple H had the same degree of popularity as a heel. And I'm not making the comparison because they make Seth out to be Hunter's boy. I'm not saying that. I'm saying to me it's very similar in terms of the comparison. So they're doing what they can do, and they're doing what works, and I think Finn will be absolutely fine. I don't foresee any problem whatsoever with Finn Balor. I think he's going to be great. The dude can go. He's very entertaining. The demon gimmick sets him apart from everyone and everything else in that company, bar none. Even Undertaker. Sets him apart from Undertaker. It does, man. And I've written about Balor at length. I'm going to write about him a heck of a lot more because the guy is so interesting and it's so fun to write about him. The demon gimmick is one of the coolest things. The coolest thing we've seen since Bray. And Bray was the coolest thing we'd seen since Mankind. And Mankind was the coolest thing we'd seen since Undertaker. And Undertaker was the coolest thing we'd seen since Sting. Vice versa. That's right, man. I'm putting them all in the same category. I don't even care. Come at me. What? It's fine. So I do see Finn going over for this championship. The first ever WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion. Get over the name. It's fine. It'll be fine. It was fine the moment they announced it. All you guys need to take it easy, man, and breathe. Please, take it easy. Seriously. Gonna be fine, man. I think the belt will look nice. I think it'll be okay, and I think Finn will add a lot of value to that belt. And if it ends up being Seth, so be it. Okay? So be it. That's fine with me too, man. Look, can I be honest with you? Do you see either guy not bringing some integrity and you know, work rate and everything that you want to call it to that title? Stability, trust, honor to that? I mean, seriously, I'm not even playing around here. It's going to be fine, man. I mean, straight up, dude, fine. You're crazy if you think otherwise. Both these guys are fully capable of getting it done at a very high level. And they have, and they are right now. Finn will be fine. Don't nobody worry about Finn. It's going to be fine, dude. No worries at all. So, yes, I've got Finn going over, but asterisk by that, if Seth goes over, I'm perfectly okay with that, too. So, yes, to answer your question, I'm wishy-washy on both my first two picks. It's all right, man. It's my show. I can do that if I want. There you go. Moving on. The third match we're going to talk about today, folks. How's about this? Let's go ahead and talk about it. Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton. Let's get down to brass tacks. Who you got? I'm going Randy. I don't mean I'm going Randy. That sounded like an Austin Powers reference. Didn't it? Isn't that where it came from? I'm Randy or something? Oh, God, I don't know where I even got that from. Google it. I don't know. I'll Google it later. Jeez. You get what I'm saying. Anyway, no, I'm going with Randy on this. I think it's time that Brock lost a match. And as I say that, I chuckle because I don't think it's going to happen. My heart says Randy. My head says Brock. I got no major love for either one of them. I got no major hate either. I try to just respect everyone that we talk about on the show that I write about. And I do. I got major respect for both of them. In terms of, this guy better win or else. I don't really have that. Not here. And sometimes I don't have it at all, I'll be honest with you. A loss is not going to hurt either guy, and a win is not going to necessarily take either man and put him through the stratosphere. It would for Randy, I guess, in some regard. But here's the deal, and you guys know this to be true. Everyone out there knows this to be true. You've heard it. If you've ever listened to Punk, if you know about the situation when he was there, I don't care if you hate the guy. You have to admit this is true, man. Here's the facts. Here be the facts. That's better. Here be the facts about Brock. Just as Punk said at one point, when Vince is telling him, okay, you're going to do me a favor and you're going to lose to Rock, you're going to lose to Brock, you're going to lose to Taker, and I owe you one. And Punk's comment on every one of them was, okay, but I lose to them on Sunday and they're gone on Monday and I'm still here. And that's sort of what you have with Brock. Having said that, you've got the whole other aspect of Brock as a box office draw. He equals dollar signs. He is revenue. He is main event material. He's the top guy all the time. He's the one fans want to see. They pay to see. You know, yada, yada, yada. Amen. And God bless us all, everyone. So you've got sort of two halves of the same coin. I'm not saying either half is good or bad. I've written many times over the past 2 to 3 years now, I guess it's been, that WWE has backed itself into a corner with Brock, and they have, in terms of booking, because after Randy, Brock's really only got like 2 guys left. Samoa Joe and The Rock. In a rematch to end all rematches. The biggest rematch of 2002? Yeah, 2002, I guess. Is that right? 2002? Sure. 2002, I think. To end all rematches from SummerSlam. Here we go. I don't know, man. Again, you've painted yourself into a corner if you're WWE. You really have. Because you presented this guy as the Incredible Hulk on steroids. God, that was a bad joke. No pun intended, Brock. And don't nobody kill me and eat me for dinner, please. That came out totally wrong. How about this? You presented him as the Incredible Hulk on Monster Energy drink. On 5 Hour Energy. I don't know. Throw whatever thing you want to throw in there. The point is the guy's unbeatable. And he's got stamina for weeks, and you can't keep him down, and you can drop a truck on him, and, Brock kicks out at 1. I mean, the joke I've always made is that you could drop Cena off a roof and he'd kick out at 2. I mean, but that's kind of what Brock is, except he's kicking out at 1. That's kind of even more silly, or sillier, I guess. That's kind of what we're talking about, man. So again, back yourself into a corner if you're WWE. There's only really 2 guys left in my estimation. Could they make more? Well, sure. But they got to start building talents. Daniel was a possibility before he went out. Is Finn a possibility? I suppose. Nakamura is a possibility again. They did work in Japan. Don't forget that. I think and don't quote me here, but I think that might have been before Nakamura really became Nakamura. Do you know what I'm saying? The guy that you see before you today. Totally fine, by the way. Got to find yourself, right? It's important. He found himself. It's working, right? Love me some Nakamura. Love me some New Japan. Watch New Japan. It's totally worth it, by the way. Great product. I really like it. It's got its flaws, but every company has its flaws, man. But if you want some entertaining pro wrestling, why am I doing the cheap plug? Screw it. It's the cheap plug. Go watch New Japan. It's fun stuff. Don't do it right now. Listen to the show first, then go do it later. Fun? Cool? All right, sweet. So, who have I got here? I'm going Randy, and that's insane to me. And I could very well change my tune and go with Brock. My head says Brock. Everything else says Randy. Just for the sake of, again, I'm just thinking WWE has to think about itself on the Monday after SummerSlam. That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm even suggesting to you right now, man, is that WWE has to think of the company. They have to think of themselves. And what's going on, they got to think about themselves the Monday after SummerSlam. Now, here's the deal, and I want you guys to really stay with me here as I got bumping and clicking going on. My apologies there. Here's where we're going with this. As Punk said before, as we've said before, as yours truly has written so many times in the past, there's no upside to having Brock win each and every match because the guy that's left is still going to be there the night after, and Brock's going to not be there. He's going to go away again. And I get why he goes away. Like, I understand it all. But at the same time, I don't think it's ever done WWE any favors. It helps them the night of the event. It helps them when he appears on Raw. It doesn't so much help after the match is over because he's gone. Poof. He's gone again. You get that? So, again, if I'm being straight with you, common sense says put Randy over. But common sense said to put Punk over. In my opinion, common sense said to put Dean over. I mean, they had Dean lose to Brock, and now he's WWE champion. Now, couldn't Dean have beat him, slid in a quick 3 count or something? It was a no holds barred, wasn't it? Or street fight, right? So Dean could have just beat the living tar out of him and got in a quick 3, even on a roll up or something. Anything to pin Brock's shoulders to the mat, that place would have gone bananas. But it didn't happen, right? I mean, it didn't happen at all. So, and now he's WWE champion anyway. I mean, I don't know even how I feel about that. If you really think about it, it's a bit messed up, isn't it? Right? But anyway, I can talk about Brock all day. Can you tell? I've written about him so much, it's just crazy at this point. But anyway, sorry. I want to run a tangent again, I should say. So you got Brock versus Randy. I like the build-up in this match. I like where it's going. I like that Randy is being a little bit more outgoing than he has been before instead of the, I am the silent killer. I talk like this all the time. I've always said that Randy was Keanu Reeves' favorite wrestler because you kind of can't tell the two apart. No disrespect. Don't be hitting me with an RKO out of nowhere, man. I'll bump for you. I'm just saying. But yeah, I'm going to go. Dude, all 3 matches so far are tough. Guess what? We're moving on. And the 4th match is not much any easier. AJ Styles versus your boy John Cena. Okay. Right up front, I'm saying Cena. If this were Cena versus Finn Balor, I'd go Balor all the way. But since it's Cena versus AJ, I think I'm saying Cena. AJ's record, I think and this is as of 2 weeks ago, possibly 3. I actually did the math. I went back, did my homework. I didn't count house shows, and I didn't count overseas unless it was a Raw or SmackDown. I only counted Raw, SmackDown, the live event on Saturday on WWE Network that they've done before, that kind of thing, and the pay-per-view events on WWE Network on Sundays. That's what I counted, and AJ was coming in like a 66% winning percentage, which is pretty darn good, I thought. So it's not as bad as some people make it out to be. Why does AJ have to do the job again? Oh, AJ's doing the job again. Really? This is stupid. Remember that? It's funny, right? Anyway. So, yeah, I get where you're coming from, and I don't want to see him lose all the time either, but, dude, AJ's a pro. He knows how to play the game. We're talking about John knowing how to play. AJ knows even more how to play this game. He's been through it a lot, like John has. I mean, John's been in biggest company on earth. I get that, but AJ's kind of been more places, hasn't he? Don't you think so? AJ's had more of a taste of, okay, here's your $20. Thanks for showing up. Or here's gas money. Or, hey, sorry, we didn't make the rent tonight. I can't pay you. Now go drive 3 hours to get back home. You see what I'm saying? Trust me, I was there. I know how those deals work, man. Shady promoters, indie circuit. Not all of them, mind you, but a lot of them. Just putting it out there for you, man. Go do the homework. You look it up yourself. You'll find out what I'm talking about for sure. So AJ's been down those roads that John hasn't been down. But by the same token, John's done things that AJ hasn't done. So I guess it all works itself out in the end, right? But AJ's a top guy in any company he's ever been in. Not because he walked in and they said, here's a program, we're going to make you top guy. He's a top guy because he is a top guy. I don't care. He could be in the grocery store buying a loaf of bread. He's a top guy. That's it. It's who he is, okay? Hard worker. Hard worker. Straight up. Y'all, I mean, you guys know that, right? So, I'm going John. I'd rather go AJ, but I'm going John. I could go either way with this. Isn't that something? 4 matches. And guess what? That's not even the whole card. Right? You still have Charlotte going for the championship again, the women's championship against Sasha Banks. Sasha's going over, by the way. Just saying. You got New Day defending the championship against the Bullet Club, or the Club, excuse me, Gallows and Anderson. How you feel about those promos where they're being doctors? How you feel about that? Doctor? I think, can I be honest with you, I think the Club goes over. I'd be okay if they didn't, but they'll end up with the belts eventually. And I think they'll become an entertaining set of tag team champions, because they're basically the same 2 guys they were in New Japan, obnoxious and a little overbearing, and they poke fun at people. And if you really let Anderson come out a little bit more and talk, I think they'll be over even more than they were before. AJ did a lot of the talking, and I get that, and that's fine. But Anderson has enough in him they can really get over. He and Gallows work very good together. I've always said, and I kind of stick to my guns here, that Gallows and Anderson, they are what WWE was hoping the Ascension was going to be. That's my opinion. And it was never going to work. Okay? They were silly in NXT, and if anybody says otherwise, they're wrong, because I watched the Ascension in NXT. They were goofy silly. Just my opinion. They were silly down there. And they brought them up. Guess what? They got even sillier. No disrespect to Connor or Victor. Again, I got respect about everybody I've ever written about or talked about for the most part. Just saying. So all due respect to them, but it's a silly gimmick. You can't paint 2 guys up with black and red and stuff in 2016 and not expect some fire back from it. In 2026, you couldn't do that either, because the comparison to the Road Warriors and Demolition, God help us all, are always going to be made. Never going to end. It's never going to end. No one's fault. It's just how it is. So guess what? Don't do it. If they let them out of that stupid gear and didn't bother painting their faces up out of the blue, I think they probably would have been okay. Put them in leather, put them in something, chains or something, that's fine. But don't do anything else to make them even remotely resemble Hawk and Animal. That was a dumb move from day one. Shouldn't have happened to begin with. And everyone knows that, right? I'm just throwing it out there to you, man. But, so who, oh, okay, so did I give you a pick? I picked Gallows and Anderson to go over. Sasha goes over. There's more matches on the card. You'll have to forgive me, man. Again, I'm not in the studio, so I don't have the card right in front of me. But Jon Stewart is hosting SummerSlam. I just wrote a piece about that for Bleacher Report, by the way, in which I put him over. You're welcome, John. Jeez. But yeah, he's going to be fine. Of all the celebrities that WWE has ever brought in to host or to show up or do something special or whatever, John gets over pretty well, don't you think? I don't think he's ever really had a problem getting over on TV or otherwise. I mean, he's very genuine. You know what I'm saying? He never comes off like he's condescending. He never comes off like, oh, this is beneath me. I can do so much better than this. I'm wasting my time here. He never feels like he's overly scripted. It never feels like he's got too much to do. When you give a celebrity too much to do, he's probably going to screw it up. Don't give him too much to remember, too much to say, or too much to do. You want to know why? You always run the risk of the crowd turning on him. I don't think that's going to happen with Jon Stewart. I think he's going to come out. I think he's going to talk about the guys on the mic, and he's going to be very respectful because he always has been. I want to see Jon Stewart involved in the week-to-week WTV. I'm just putting it out there. I mean, it would be a little bit tough now because you've already picked your general managers. I would like to have seen Jon Stewart as the general manager of Raw. All due respect to Foley, I'm just saying they could have went that route. He could even show up and be like executive assistant to Mick Foley on Raw. I would love that. You could see him maybe twice a month or something. And they could tape a whole bunch of stuff where he's like answering calls and he's like stuck in a little corner office. They're kind of talking down to him, but it make it all fun, all in good humor, right? And I think it would be hilarious. I would love to see that. I think John brings something different. I think not everyone, you guys know that, right? Not every celebrity, oh, I've been a fan since I was a kid, yo. Well, that doesn't mean you're going to be good in the business. Do me a favor. Go back to your couch or go back to your limo or to your TV show or your movie career, whatever it is you're doing. Keep making $1 million and being who you are. We love you, but stay out of the business because it's not the same thing. Two different types of things. See what I'm saying? It really is. So being a celebrity in Hollywood doesn't mean you're going to be a celebrity in pro wrestling, and vice versa. You guys know that, right? Straight up. I know the lines get blurred sometimes between the two, but really, one is one and one is the other. I'm just being straight up with you, man. So anyway, I would love to see John involved in some form or fashion on a regular weekly basis with WWE. I think it would be awesome. I think it'd be good for them. I think it'd be good for him. I think he would have a blast. And God, you talk about entertaining. Again, they love that word, right? WWE loves the word entertainment more than they love the word, I was about to say money. That's not even close, right? The word they love the most is money. The second word they love the most is entertainment. Now, don't vilify WWE for that, because I'm not going to either. You should love money more than anything when you're a wrestling promoter. You're supposed to. You're in business to make money. And again, I've been on the soapbox before, and I won't do it much to you this time, man, but we've talked about this a lot on the show, and I've written about it a lot over the years as well. It's real great to say, and it's real emotional and heartfelt and, sentimental to say, oh, I love the business so much, and I want to be a wrestling promoter, and that's great. Good for you that you love the business. Do you want to make money or not? As a businessman who is starting his own business, okay, even it's the same as if you went and got a storefront and had a product to sell or something to help people. You had a trade that you were good at. You have a storefront, or you have an internet business, or you have something. Even if it's like a taco truck, that's your business. Anytime you want to start up your own business, you might have a passion for what you're doing, but if you don't turn a profit, you're not going to see tomorrow. WWE's the same way. Ring of Honor, TNA, God help us all, Lucha Underground, New Japan, any other wrestling promotion you could possibly fathom in the history of time, from before, today, and tomorrow, and in the future. If they don't turn a profit, they're not going to exist very much longer. Okay? And that's what we're talking about. I'm okay with WWE being in love with the almighty dollar. Perfectly fine with that. If you're not okay with that, you are deluding yourselves. I mean, straight up. It's you guys are crazy if you don't believe that. Now it's one thing to understand that and see it and recognize it. It's another thing when it takes over to the point that it's the company only cares about it and nothing else, to the detriment of the talent. I'm not saying that at all. But I don't think that's happening at all. I don't see it. I mean, there's been moments when WWE has been questionable in the way they pursued storylines and presented the product. I get all that argument. I've been on both sides of that argument before. Probably will be again at some point. But again, man, you got to turn a profit. They're going to turn a good profit at SummerSlam. Segue. They're going to turn a good profit at SummerSlam. It's going to be a good show, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to NXT the night before. Samoa Joe versus Nakamura, I believe, is going to be a match of the year candidate. Right up there with Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano from Cruiserweight Classic. Oh, my God. It was so good. The Glorious Bomb with Bobby Roode. Oh, God. Me and my kid did one Glorious Bomb. That thing's been favored and retweeted I think 100 times now or something. Because Bobby, Johnny, and Tommaso, all three, favorited and tweeted and all this stuff. Because they're doing it for everybody. It's not just us, of course. But I still think we had the best one. Because it's my kid. I mean, I can't be hating on what we did. I got to believe everything I do with my kid's the best and the greatest, man. So anyway, there's your card. Not all of your card. There's some more stuff. Feel free to go to WWE.com or Bleacher Report. We can do other stuff there. And check out the whole card, because I didn't give you all of it. I'm sorry. I didn't do my homework. I apologize, man. Don't get mad at me now. But, oh, man, it's I'm looking forward to it. I love big matches. I love big money matches on big money nights. That's the fun stuff to me, man. Oh, we did miss one, didn't we? What we missed? Oh, yeah. Enzo and Cass. Oh, you thought I forgot, didn't you? Ha! Well, I did. Sorry. Enzo and Cass versus Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens. They're not calling Jericho, I think, or something like that. Jera Owens. I don't know. Something like that. Funny. Entertaining. They're not going to win. Enzo and Cass are going to win. I think. Funny. Good stuff. And Enzo calling John Bon Jericho. It's good stuff, man. Entertaining stuff. And why not put Jericho and Owens together? Jericho's been known as a tag team guy for so many years because of the pairings with other dudes. He plays very well off another guy. You can put him in an interview one-on-one, he's fine. He can play off the guy who's going to work. You put him next to a tag team partner that's got timing like Owens has, and dude, Jericho is comedy gold. He is right now as well. Comedy gold, man. I mean, it's fun stuff. I'm looking forward to that match too. So, okay, there's probably more, but I'm going to wrap it up, man, because, life calls. So, we're going to go ahead and hit you with some info right here before we leave. But as Austin says, they're giving me the go home. So we got to get out of here. And as I've said before, the promoter's tugging at his ear. Got to take it home. There you go. For anyone out there who would like to check out more shows from our parent company, our production company, Boink Studios, owned by myself and great friend Kyle Smith, Boink Studios, we operate 3 podcasts. One is Tom Clark's Main Event, which you're listening to right now. By the way, thanks for listening. I think I had a fun show. Did you have fun? I hope so. I did too. Tom Clark's 30-minute fun show, which is myself and my kid. And the third show, Tom and Kyle's Comedy Action Hour, which, by the way, we've not done an episode in months. Our apologies. Life beckons, as is always the case. Kyle and I will be back together at some point, and we will start recording again. So, again, my humblest apologies. Thanks for hanging in there, and please bear with us. We're going to be back real soon with that show. It's one of the most fun times I have doing the podcast thing, is because we talk about stuff other than wrestling. We talk about comic book movies and TV and comic books and pop culture and music and all that good stuff. So it's fun time. So please go check out the older episodes if you will. I think they're pretty good. So, but those are the 3 shows we have right now. If you like the artwork that you see on the what is it? The Tom and Kyle's Comedy Action Hour podcast. The illustrations are done by Kyle. He's an amazing artist, always has been. He is available for freelance work. If you'd like to drop us a line, just get in touch with us. boingstudios@yahoo.com. Kyle will return your email in due time. And like we said, he's available for freelance work. Just give him a shout. Let us know what you'd like to have done. He'll do everything in his power to help you out, clear the schedule, give you some work, man. Check it out. If you like the music that you hear on all 3 shows, the music is done by another guy that works with us at Boing Studios. His name is Philip Fender. Philip is also available for freelance work. So just give us a buzz, boingstudios@yahoo.com. We will get the message to him. If you would like to check out my stuff, please feel free to check out the aforementioned Bleacher Report. I'm on WB page, featured columnist, 6 years strong. So many thanks go out to Bleacher Report. Still loving what I do there. It's a blast as always. I'm still on Sports Keto, though not very much here lately. More on that to come, I suppose. I'm still on Camel Clutch blog. My schedule lately has been a big hectic. I've not been able to write as much as I usually do. So thanks for still reading my stuff, and please be patient because there's going to be more stuff along the way, more to come. You can check out, I have 2 blogs here to tell you about. The first one is my blog. It's all WB material. TomClarkBR.wix.com/blog. The second is the Boing Studios website that we have, TomClarkBR.wix.com/boink. And that's the actual Boing Studios website. Follow us on Twitter at Boing Studios. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter, it's TomClarkBR@yahoo.com for email. Follow me on Twitter at TomClarkBR. And guess what? I think that's it. Whew. It's a mouthful, right? I need a nap after that. It's been a long day. I need a nap anyway. So, listen, man, we had to thank you for your business. We do appreciate it. Thanks as always for listening. We're going to come back soon. We hope you come back with us as well. We should say. Please go watch SummerSlam. It's fun. Watch the Cruiserweight Classic before this thing gets wrapped up. It's some of the best wrestling on network television. Well, it's not on network television. I blew that line. It's. How about WB network television? Oh, you can't fight that one, right? That's a good one, man. So wish I'd done that to begin with. Wouldn't sound so goofy now. Okay, anyway. That's it. Thanks, man. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming back to see us. Go enjoy SummerSlam and NXT the night before, and go listen to all of our stuff. Subscribe and download iTunes as well as Google Play. Leave some reviews for us. Greatly appreciated. Let us know what you have. If you got any feedback, drop us an email. Let us know. That's it, folks. We're out of here. Thanks again. As always, we do appreciate it. And we will see you next time on Tom Clark's Main Event.